Hey, what's going on YouTube? Back again with another video. So today's video we're going to take a look at some updates to the Vampire 2 FPGA accelerator for the Amiga 600. Now it's been a little bit since my last update on the Vampire 2, but I thought I'd talk about the SILVER6 core that was just released last week on the ApolloAccelerators.com website, as well as the SAGA 0.9C Picasso 96 driver that supports the HDMI connection on the Vampire 2 itself. Now, I installed the SILVER6 core last week and it's a great update. I haven't actually updated my core since the Silver 2 core, so obviously with every core that's released, improvements are made, and the first one is obviously the core performance. In other words, the MIPS and the speed performance is increasing with every single update of the Silver core that comes out. The second one, which is a really cool feature, is the SD card is finally supported. Now, I think it was actually supported in the Silver 4 or Silver 5 core originally, but the SD card now works and the performance is fantastic. It's around 4.5 megabytes per second transfer speeds. I haven't actually done any tests with it so far because I'm actually waiting for the SD card itself to become bootable. Right now you can mount the card and use the card, but there's actually no way to boot from the SD card, so I'm just waiting for a update to the core which will provide that functionality, and hopefully that's not too far away. Now the third thing is the ability to define your own screen modes with the SAGA 0.9C driver that comes with the Silver 5 core. You have the ability now to go into the Picasso 96 tool editor and create your own screen modes to support your monitor. And as you can see through the list here, I'm actually able to run screen modes up to 1280 by 720, in other words a 720p HD type output, which is really awesome. Now I think you can actually go even higher than that. I'm not sure if you can actually create a 1080p type screen mode, but you can certainly create screen modes that were previously unheard of on the Amiga itself, you know, outside of emulation, of course. And I want to show you guys a couple of things that I'm testing here. The first one is Riva, the MP3 player or the MP4 player that came out many years ago actually. It's become open source, and the Vampire 2 development team have been optimizing and making code updates to support the Vampire 2 and some of the awesome features that it has under the hood. And as you can see, we can run a low-res Dragon Ball Z type video, and now we're getting around a 20 to 25 frames per second with audio playing as well. And this is something that was previously unheard of on a MC680XO class CPU on a classic Amiga. Now the next thing I test is SCUMMVM, and a RTG update has been provided by one of the Vampire 2 developers as well. And as you can see, we're running the Curse of the Monkey Island here, and this is a 640 by 480 screen mode, and obviously this is obviously a higher resolution than the traditional LucasArts games that I believe ran at 320 by 224 or 320 by 256 screen modes, and this is running extremely well. And in the background you may hear some of the speech and the music. It's a little bit choppy, and the reason why it's actually choppy is because I'm running this game off my compact flash card. It has nothing to do with the Vampire 2 itself. Once I move this particular game to the SD card, for instance, or something that's a more high powered or faster transfer rates, those kind of things will be eliminated. But as you can see, this is extremely playable, and again, this is something that was previously unheard of on any type of Amiga class or any type of 68,000 class Amiga previously. So this is very awesome for the SCUMMVM and Monkey Island fans.
Prepare for your doom. You drink Bill's water and your mother's dress you funny. You swabs, prepare for your doom. You drink Bill's water and your mother's...
The next thing I try out is a couple of MAME games. The first one is Kung Fu Master by IREM. Now this is something that runs pretty well. I'll say that the MAME emulation is around 85% of real speed, and of course that depends on the game as well. But I do have an original Kung Fu Master PCB to compare it to, and I can tell this is not running as fast as that, but it's pretty close. And again, this is something that I never really bothered with back with my Amiga 4000, for instance, even with a 040 and my A1200 with an 060 processor. I never really thought MAME was really worth it because it just never really ran quite at the speeds that I was really expecting. And the Vampire 2, while it's not full speed, is certainly getting there. And I think with some more core updates, as well as, you know, maybe someone going back and revisiting the MAME code, we can get a very, very close to full speed performance on an Amiga for MAME emulation. For the next thing that I try out is Strife AGA. Now, I ported Strife AGA, if you guys remember, to the Amiga A1200 about 3 or so years ago. I've since gone back and revisited the code to add the retargetable graphics support to it. So now we can run this game with the Vampire 2. And this is still an internal build. This is something that I've ported, and the Vampire 2 team are testing currently as well. But rest assured, you know, we'll get this out on AmiNet so that you guys can play around with it as well. It's a great game, certainly worth checking out if you are a fan of the Strife game. And the next main game that I try out is Commando, and this is an old classic Capcom game, of course. Now, there is an arcade Amiga port of Commando, but I thought I'd show you how it runs on the MAME emulator, and this is MAME 0.29, and as you can see, this runs at full frame rate. In fact, I want to say maybe it runs a little bit too fast, because I never really remember Commando playing this quickly on the arcade version, but maybe my memory is eluding me a little bit. And this is something that MAME is getting really close to running at good frame rates on a Vampire 2. So more to come there. Hopefully we'll see some improvements to the MAME core. And the next thing I try out is Warcraft here, and this is running under Fusion Mac emulation. Now, Fusion runs extremely well. I do want to say that Shapeshifter still is incompatible, and I haven't been able to actually boot into it yet, but Fusion runs extremely well, and you'll be very pleased with the Mac performance. And this is Warcraft running under the Mac emulation, and as you can see, the introduction screens, the sound, and the responsiveness is perfect. It runs extremely well. And for the next thing that I try out is SimCity 2000, and obviously this is a very taxing CPU game with a lot of screen refreshing and drawing and things like that, and a lot of obviously number crunching that's going on in the background. And this is running as best as I can ever remember SimCity 2000 running on any system anywhere. So I'm very pleased with this, and this is something that I'm personally very happy to see playing at really good speeds. So for Mac emulation, guys, you can't go wrong with the Vampire 2. It's a very awesome solution. Obviously, it's the best thing you can get on the market as far as Amiga stuff goes, and you'll be very, very pleased with it. And this is the port of Descent, A Descent, which I found on AmiNet, and this has RTG support as well. So obviously this runs on the Vampire 2. Now, for some reason, this was making my capture card act up, so I just took some raw footage of this running on the monitor itself. But as you can see, this is Descent by Interplay, and this runs extremely well. Now, A Descent was always something that was a little bit CPU intensive and never really ran quite at the right speeds that I really wanted to see, especially on a 040 and 060 class processor. It was still a little bit choppy, even on an 060 processor, but this is just silky smooth. It's the best Descent performance that you'll get on an Amiga outside of emulation at this time. You know, guys, before I do sign off, I do know that Kipper2K is working really hard to continue to get those orders out. I know there's a lot of people still waiting for their Vampire 2. I know a couple of guys personally that have been waiting for theirs for, you know, 3-4 months now. But rest assured, I know he's working on getting those orders out. Just be a little bit more patient. Hopefully he'll get them out to you guys as soon as he can. But I just want to give you guys this video to keep you guys interested in the Vampire 2, and just a little bit different from the traditional kind of first-person Doom videos that are going around, and Frontier and things like that. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a different look on some of the other things that are really cool with the Vampire 2. So anyway, guys, enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like my channel, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below and let me know if you have any questions about anything you saw in this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.